Atlantic Canada is barely catching its breath after the early week winter storm, and already, attention is shifting to what could be the next major threat on the horizon. Forecasters are now watching a developing system that has the potential to become a powerful nor'easter by the end of this weekend. And yes, this one could even meet the criteria of a weather bomb, meaning rapid intensification, powerful winds, and high-impact snowfall. Before we get into what could be coming this weekend, let's talk about what's still unfolding right now, because winter is far from over, especially for Newfoundland. As we move through Wednesday and Thursday, a lingering trough in the atmosphere is setting up a southwesterly flow straight into Newfoundland. What that means on the ground is more snow, and in some areas, a lot more snow. Sea-effect snow bands will continue to develop, enhancing snowfall totals and creating highly localized but intense bursts of snow. Northern Newfoundland is expected to pick up an additional 15 to 25 centimeters of snow by Thursday, while the Avalon Peninsula could see 10 to 15 centimeters. These numbers may not sound extreme at first glance, but when combined with strong winds, the impacts can be significant. Winds are expected to gust between 50 and 75 kilometers per hour, with the strongest winds focused over the Avalon. These gusts will lead to blowing and drifting snow, rapidly reducing visibility at times. Travel conditions will deteriorate quickly, especially on exposed highways and coastal routes. Even short trips could become hazardous, with whiteout conditions possible during heavier snow bands. Snowfall won't be continuous all the time. Instead, it will come in waves, lighter snow at times, followed by sudden heavier bursts when sea-effect bands set up. This kind of pattern often catches people off guard, because conditions can change dramatically in a matter of minutes. Now, while Newfoundland deals with this ongoing snow, meteorologists are already looking ahead, and this is where things get especially interesting. Looking towards Sunday and Monday, there is growing concern about another storm system developing along the U.S. eastern seaboard. This system has the potential to strengthen rapidly as it moves northward, tapping into Gulf moisture while cold Arctic air remains firmly in place across eastern Canada. That setup is exactly what you need for a classic nor'easter. At this point, there is still a lot of uncertainty, but the high-end potential of this storm is what has forecasters paying close attention. If the storm tracks closer to the coast, parts of Atlantic Canada could be dealing with 20 to 30 centimeters of snow or more, accompanied by strong winds, extensive blowing and drifting snow, and the possibility of blizzard conditions. In this closer-to-shore scenario, snowfall rates could be heavy at times, visibility could drop to near zero, and travel disruptions would be widespread. Power outages would also become a concern if strong winds combine with heavy, wind-driven snow. However, there is another possible outcome. If the storm tracks farther offshore, the highest impacts would remain over the Atlantic. In that case, Atlantic Canada would still see snow and gusty winds, but totals would be lighter, and the most severe conditions would stay offshore. This is the scenario everyone hopes for, but it is far from guaranteed. The key factor here is storm track. A shift of just a few hundred kilometers east or west can make the difference between a high-impact winter storm and a more manageable snowfall event. Right now, it is simply too early to pin down exact snowfall amounts or specific locations that would be hardest hit. What we do know is this: cold Arctic air will remain locked in place across eastern Canada through the weekend. That means any system moving north will have plenty of cold air to work with, increasing the likelihood that precipitation falls as snow rather than rain. The closer this storm gets to Atlantic Canada, the stronger the winds are likely to be, and the greater the risk for blowing snow and reduced visibility. Coastal regions would be most vulnerable to these impacts, especially if the storm intensifies rapidly. This is a classic long-range forecast situation where confidence will increase with time. Over the next several days, weather models will provide clearer guidance, and forecasters will be able to better determine which scenario becomes more likely. For now, residents across Atlantic Canada, especially in Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and coastal areas, are strongly encouraged to stay weather-aware. Check forecasts regularly, review winter travel plans, and be prepared for rapidly changing conditions as we head into the weekend. And this is exactly why staying connected here is so important. As soon as we see stronger signals in the data, you'll get updated snowfall projections, timing, and impact zones right here. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this pattern remains very active, and the next update could be a critical one. Winter is not loosening its grip just yet, and the atmosphere may be setting the stage for another major storm. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll keep tracking it for you every step of the way.